Sorry, Aki introduced me briefly. My name is Qaiser I'm CEO here, and he actually also pushed this idea to introduce myself the way I did to him, first place. So Qaiser means emperor, and Siddiq means friend. So I'm a friendly emperor. So that's something maybe to keep you, help you remember me. In 2014, I was having lunch upstairs in the kitchen, and our CEO of Qaiser, Sami Karhunen, he went past by and he told me, Beacon is the next big thing and you will do amazing stuff, and I was eating what just happened, and he just left. So I started studying beacons after that, and we actually built a few very good services with beacons. That's how I got introduced to beacons. Let's go into the brief, very short view of how the beacons actually work, and we'll not go into the technical deep dive, but stay more on the business side. First, the phone scans for the beacons, and it finds a beacon that transmits an ID, for example 433 in this case. The phone needs to know where this 433 beacon is located, and the phone can ask the backend system that, okay, this 433 at the entrance of Solinor. So this is on a high level how beacon really works. Beacon are very simple devices. They don't care about what's happening around. They don't communicate with other devices. They just transmit an ID and just saying, okay, I am here, I'm here, I'm here. This is my ID. And from the backend system, we know like, okay, where this ID is located. Why do we need beacons? They don't look like this, but maybe. Why do we need beacons? To understand the context of a user, that the user is at the entrance of Solinor's office, for example. To anticipate the needs of the user, we need to understand the context to know what the user needs at this moment. And offer situational awareness with situation-aware services, the environmental information about the people around the user, things, objects around the user, places around the user. And if we have that context information, then we can provide a better service to the users. Why do we need context awareness? Understand our users, how they behave, what they like, what they don't like. Proactively solve their real problems in real time instead of bombarding them with advertisements. We are all going towards target advertisement, and then target advertising at the right time and right place for the right person when they have the right need, because we have a lot of resources available now. The technology has grown a lot. And the users' needs change. Like today I need something, tomorrow I need something else. But the businesses don't know that their customers want something else now. And every customer wants a different way of communication and different things from your store, from your shelf. Everything is not for every person. So how do you know that which of your customers want what and when? So that context awareness will give you the information that will boost your revenues. And position yourself for the future growth. So having the context awareness in your applications, in your digital services, will give you the competitive advantage And I want to actually jump back into where all of this actually comes from. unlike what you said, we should not talk about histories. I will. I have a technical background, so ubiquitous computing started in late 80s, and which in short means that the computers are everywhere. They are so commonplace that we don't even realize how many devices are there around us. As an example, if I fetch for a list of my friends on Facebook, I actually use about hundreds of computers to just get the list within a couple of seconds. And we don't even realize. And these machines are shared between us. And this concept moved towards location-based services. We have seen a lot of location-based services that started to emerge in the 90s. And then in last decade, or over a decade, went towards the context awareness. Because location information is not enough. It's an absolute value that, okay, this is a city, this is a geographical coordinate, but that's not enough. We need some relative proximity information, that what's near and what user wants and what's going on and what has happened before, what their actions are. Now the technology is so commonplace, just like electricity, we don't even realize it's there because it's been years that we have seen this. Now the same thing is happening with the computing. So invisible computing, in other words, we call it invisible computing. And now the number of computers we have around us in this room are numerous. And 10 years from now, they will just double, triple. So this technology is available for us. And we need to start using this technology around us to produce services that will create value for the end users. Now, people are usually scared about, okay, with beacons you are tracking people where they are and their location and stuff. But with the Bluetooth 4.2 onwards, now user has an option to opt in if they want to be tracked by the beacon. And users today do opt in only if they see a great value in the service. I go to, for example, I go to Pizza Online website, and it asks me for my location, and I know if I allow it, then it will know where am I located and show me the nearby pizzerias. So I don't have to type, know the street address if I'm in some random place. So just I'll share my location so that it provides me a great value to show me the nearby places. So it's a location-based service, but I have an option to actually share my location if I want to. So users have a full control over this. So users allow you only if they see a great value. Now businesses, we are building digital services. We need to find what is that great value that will actually give them the experience that they want. I have a few examples. We'll go through what has happened so far. But let's understand different types of context that are there. Computing context. If you have the knowledge of the computing power of users' devices, is it a handheld device or a computer, whatever computing device they have, what's their battery information, what kind of sensors are available, what kind of network connectivity, if any. So that computing power is one context. The physical context, the surroundings of a user, the environmental variables such as noise, light, sensors, this is another kind of context. Time context, the time of the day, time of a year, which season it is, and such things. And for me, this is the most important one, is the user's context. What is the current situation of the user? What's their current location? What's their current health? Do they have any nearby friends? Do they have any nearby things that might attract them? And so on and so forth. So understanding user's context as well. So in short, we give user what they want before they even ask for it. So we just provide them that information. That is a value, that we don't make them ask for what they want. We just provide them the information. If you understand, if you have that data, that what they want. So how this in practice works is we gather the data. We use some algorithms, machine learning techniques to go through that data, make some sense out of it. create some social graphs with users' behaviors, so on and so forth. And then we actually are able to give user what they want. So this is just high level, how after getting data from beacons, how it works to provide a service. We are working in the digital world, and so on the mobile apps and on computers, on web stores, and everywhere. One thing is missing: the interaction with the physical world. So there are a lot of things happening around us that we don't know in our digital services. If we know what's happening, what's the situation of the user, that might help us there. So there are different kind of questions about the user's context in the physical world that can be found. For example, what is here? Who is here? Where are you? Then there are three more kind of contextual information, is like why a user is here, when he would do something, and how he would like to do something. But these are the three things that would come from your machine learning algorithms and stuff. But the first three, what, who, and where, this is the information that you can get with beacons. That's the beginning of your contextual data. Now, what is here, who is here, where are you? There are different kind of services we can build. I'll go through with some examples. For example, what is here? How would that service work? We have a mobile phone. So let's take an example. This is Aki's phone. Okay. So Aki's phone is here, and there is an object around Aki. He don't know what that object is. Maybe it's in something of interest to Aki. Oh, it's a painting. All right. It's a painting that might interest Aki. Let's add a Bluetooth beacon next to the painting, and it will start transmitting the signal. And let's say we have an app. Aki's app receives a signal. Oh, there is a painting around me that I like. Before that, Aki's phone will actually receive some ID. That does not make any sense for Aki. So Aki will actually have to ask the magic layer, the backend system, what it means. And the backend system will actually translate this ID, because beacons cannot transmit a lot of data. They just transmit an ID, and then we understand. We have Aki's profile in our magic layer. We know this ID, and we can match those things for Aki. And then we know that, okay, Aki, you are at the Mona Lisa painting in Paris, and can narrate about the painting in Finnish language. If I was there, I wouldn't choose Finnish, but I would get this. So basically, everyone who is at a museum can have their own language, interactive tours on the mobile phones. So, and you get the details about the artifact when you go near them. So basically, what is here? That's one kind of a service we can do with beacons. Where are you? Or where you are? We have Aki again in a museum. Aki has his device. He's at the art gallery. And the art gallery has a lot of beacons installed. And Aki wants to go to the science gallery. There are also a lot of beacons installed there. So Aki's phone will receive the signal strength, and we can calculate the distance from different beacons, triangulate the position, ask the magic layer that, okay, here is Aki and he wants to go to the science museum, and we can navigate a user to the science museum. This is indoor navigation is something, a service that you can provide with this where are you contextual information and where you want to go. So this is one type of service. What is here? Where are you? And this has this is already happening. There are multiple companies that are doing this. Who is here? That's another interesting kind of service. So again, we have an Aki in a room, and it's Solinor's Beacons morning event. So it's this room. Now we have badges, and we can see who is here with the badges, then talk to them, exchange the visiting cards, search them on LinkedIn and stuff. How about, let's say we have multiple people in this room. We have one beacon, for example, this one here. And all these phones are listening to this beacon. Now, all the phones are in the proximity of one beacon. That's how we know that these people are near each other. We ask the magic layer that who these people are. And the magic layer knows that Aki is here and Pekka is here, and returns it back to the app. So in seminars and events, you can just scroll down, see, oh, Juha Cyrillus is here. I click, I see his LinkedIn profile, connect with him. And it's easy, and you can even see that how far they are, and you can navigate to them and meet and say hello. Okay, let's have a chat. You're here, because there's so many faces in so many seminars that, or you realize after a month, oh, you were there, I was there too. Oh, didn't find you. This happens a lot. But if there are people of your interest, we can match their profiles and stuff. That's a service that we can build. With a similar contextual information, there is a university in Korea who has done automatic attendance system for the students. So they just come in the class and go, and they know that who has been in the class. So, and same thing can be done for offices, at how many, like what time employees come in, so you don't have to badge and put your code and stuff. Now to do anything, yes?
Is this time for stupid questions now? I was just thinking about the Korean thing.
Yes.
If I bring my friend's phone with me, does that mean that he was on the lecture as well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That's cheating.
That's normal for students.
Yes.
He wouldn't be able...
They find these things always, that's why I mean...
But
think
the
about them as well.
friend wouldn't be able to play Pokemon Go with giving her or his phone away. So
yeah.
He wouldn't do that.
Probably.
Okay. Moving on. We can also combine services like what is here, where are you, and who is here. Different kind of services we can combine. So at an art gallery, when you know, okay, here is the Mona Lisa painting, and here is another guy called Marco, and this is what he shared, comments about him, and you have similar likes. If you want to talk to him, you can navigate Aki to Marco. Then okay, you made a comment about this on this museum app, and let's have a chat about it, and you can find people of like-minded people. So we can actually combine different kind of contextual information in one service if need be. And that's all I had. Next is a few examples. I like my coffee a specific way, and there is one coffee shop that I go every day in the morning. There's a nice, lovely lady who remembers that what kind of coffee I like, and she greets me nicely with my name. Hi, Qaiser. Okay, I'll make the regular one for you. And it's such a nice experience for me. One day, she's not there in the morning shift, or she's sick. Someone else is there. Now, I am associated with that coffee shop, but barista there does not know me. And I have to go through the same thing all over again. I like this coffee, I like this milk, and I want this, I want that. Go through the whole process. And that happens like once in a week. There is someone new there, and I have to explain my coffee. And the coffee shop or coffee business, they don't know their loyal customers, regular customers, but the customers know the coffee shop. So what if the barista knows, doesn't matter who's working there, they know that, okay, Qaiser has just arrived and this is how he likes his coffee. And by the way, you can say him, Subal Khair, that's how you say good morning in his language. So that's also some nice contextual information. That personalized experience that you have. About how we can use beacons in retail stuff, Pekka will talk more about it later. The pink light campaign in Korea. That's one of the very, very interesting uses that happened, what, 2 years ago? So all the pregnant ladies, they get a badge which has a beacon that transmits ID, and when they enter a public transportation, the light rings to empty the seat for a pregnant lady. So basically, you just go there, you will make sure that people will know that there is someone who needs a seat. I really like this service. It's I think they had some like either impolite to ask for a place in the culture or something, but they used an innovative way of using the beacons. In this case, the beacon was with the user. They're not using the mobile phone, but their sensors were reading the beacons in this device. Marriott Hotel has deployed beacons in over 500 of there, and they're planning to deploy on more. So you arrive at the entrance, and you have the Marriott app and automatically check in. Use your phone to unlock. Just go in your room. You arrive, you get a welcome message, oh, you're at the entrance, okay, we have already checked you in, we have your credit card and everything, and your booking and all that system. Just go use your phone with the beacons again, or with NFC or whatever, however you want. Just go in your room. So you just go and you don't have to go through the queue if there is a huge group. It just happened with me multiple times, especially after when my flights were delayed. You go there and there's a huge group and you wait in line. Okay, I have to wait half an hour, especially when you're tired. That's a very good experience. And when people move around spa and other stuff, they get a real-time notification. By the way, there is a free facial campaign going on, and there is a spot available. If you get that, a lot of women would go in for a free facial. Yes.
Men.
Men as well. A lot of women, Daniel. Yeah, but sending notification at the right time to the right people really matters a lot, and that's what they are trying to do. Samsonite built this beacon-enabled traveling bags. So they've installed beacons. There are 25 million mishandled luggages every year. They're trying to solve that problem with beacon. So with the beacons in the airport, you can actually scan where your luggage is and actually identify that. So they already are equipped with beacons. And yeah, one thing that they have in their track and go service, when your luggage is approaching, then you get a notification that your luggage is coming. So you don't have
conveyor belt.
Yes, on the conveyor belt. So you don't have to wait and do like this. That looks like mine. But you can actually wait before and say, oh, mine is here, and then go and pick it up. That's actually a very nice service with beacons. Yes, American Museum of Natural History is doing what Aki was doing with the Mona Lisa painting. It's exactly the same thing. When you approach, you get about Tyrannosaurus, that how more information about it. They are actually doing that. This again is one of my favorite services that I have seen with the beacons is smart city public transport. They have just installed this beacon on the top of the bus. And the service to begin with is for visually impaired people. So a visually impaired person using the app would get a notification that bus 41 is here now. And the driver would get a notification there is a visually impaired person in the bus stop. You might want to ask him if he wants to get on this bus. So that's a service that really makes a lot of difference. So it's all about proximity. The driver is there, the visually impaired person is there who needs help. How do they know that? Beacon connects you with the physical world around you. So that's a service actually, that's my favorite one at least. And this is an idea we had about automated payments. So what if I don't have to buy a ticket? I'm traveling from Kerava to Helsinki. App knows that I got in at Kerava, I got out at Helsinki, what's the right price at this hour, and this is my credit card number, charge for the ticket. So just sit and travel. So no punching, all those stuff, and you have a validated ticket. And even the ticket checkers can also know that how many people around this beacon have valid tickets. So context-aware ads. Surprise, surprise! I go to Verkkokauppa a lot. I visit their website a lot. It's always in my search history. I do get these ads, but unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of NHL or baby bicycles. But this is a screenshot I took this morning. But I was there last time checking out those new noise cancelling noise cancelling Boss headsets. That's something I actually like and want to buy, but they were like something like 300 euros. So I said, okay, I'm not dying for them, I'll wait when they will be on sale. So how about if I visit here? A web store knows that, okay, Qaiser was in our store in this section looking for these products, and when they have offer, then that should be the one on the top, not what they want to promote. What is most likely that Qaiser would buy should be on the banner. Okay, you are looking for these Boss, now we have like 20% off on these ones. There is very likely you will get a conversion from a visiting customer to a paying customer. Personalized experience, pretty much the same story that we had with my coffee every morning. And the same thing with the airlines. Okay, for coffee shops there are like 5 or 6 people, but with airlines, that's one thing we can do, give the personalized experience to the loyal customers or frequent flyers. I would really like if I go into the plane and somebody says, oh, hi Qaiser, here is Helsinki Sanomat that you can read but don't understand, but that was your favorite according to the profile. There you go. But I do read Helsinki. Actually, I don't. I do read. I don't understand, but I do read. Yes, but the personalized experience that you can get in the airline industry as well. They, especially on the bigger aircrafts, they have like 2 aisles. So everybody's standing there. They ask for your boarding card and see, okay, you have to go to this aisle or that aisle. Otherwise, aisle is blocked, flights are delayed. That all can be automated with the beacons. So you don't have to do that. And you can welcome people with their own language. Yeah, there were 3 more things that we didn't discuss earlier. We went through what is here, who is here, and where are you. Then with machine learnings and integrations to different things, we can know why are you here? Like why a user is here. If I am at the airport, do we know that if I'm there to have a flight or I'm here to pick up somebody? To what level of which floor I am in and why I am here? If I have a flight, then that would be the right time when I enter the airport to get the information about where I should go. And if I'm picking up somebody, then I should get that information. So there are a lot of people at the airport. Some are workers, some are travelers, some are there just for coffee, something. Then when would you? So something in the future. A simple integration with which Google is doing with your calendar is like, if you know when would you like to go to, for example, when you have a doctor's appointment somewhere. So that's the time you want to go somewhere, and you use public transport, and this is the bus you take, and you will be there in time. So user does not have to ask the question, but answers are there. How do you commute? Do you take car? Do you take public transport? And how do you like your coffee, for example? And what newspaper you like to read in an aircraft? What Google is doing with this kind of contextual information. I was in Germany. Morning I woke up, and it actually gave me this nice, lovely notification that this is how you say good morning in German. Like, ooh, nice. I didn't ask for it, I didn't learn it, but actually it's giving me information about it because they know that this might be something I might need in a hotel, because that's relevant. And if I leave by 4:30, I'll make it to my plane. I'll catch a plane in time if I leave by that in any country. You don't need it every day if you know the routes and all the stuff, but if you're traveling around then you need. If the flight has been delayed, I get a notification with the Google app. I'm driving, so if I'm driving in some other country, I get like this, nearby attractions. If I'm driving in Finland, I get nearby parking places. So what is needed? The context is what user is doing at the moment is driving, but what does the user need? That's a different story. Real-time traffic information. There are delays on KH1 every day at 4 o'clock for some reason, but I do get to know that if I leave at 4 o'clock, what time I'll get home, and if I leave at 5 o'clock, what time I'll get home. Ongoing sports events. I always forget when there is a cricket match. I'm a big fan of cricket. But actually I do get the notification, oh, the game has started and this is the score. So I'm like, oh yes, thanks for reminding me. This is a screenshot I took this morning. It was 23 minutes to work, and also getting what's coming up next in my agenda. That is this beacons event. So apparently 6:45 is a good time to come to work. It takes only 23 minutes. Yeah, how beacons can help you. That's a good thing. Automation. There's a lot of things we can automate in a lot of businesses. Beacons are not only for just consumer apps, it's also for your business processes. How you can improve your logistics, for example, cost efficiency, improving the business processes, how you can automate a lot of stuff, reducing a lot of manual work, workforce management, and marking yourself present in a classroom where your friend brought your phone. That's also possible. Expanding your business is understanding a new dimension of how users behave, what your customers want, and to understand when they have changing needs. Offer new products and services using beacons. You can always offer different kind of applications. For example, public transport. If they have beacons, they can always have this automated payments, personalized service, and knowing if somebody is visually impaired and needs some help, some assistance, Experience of your users. You can improve a lot of, make it so easy to use for the users, give them such nice value in the service that they would actually prefer you over your competitors. That's a big thing. Apparently happy customers bring more revenue for some reason. Just be there at the right time, the right place to serve your customers. And for the salesperson, it's very important to know, okay, this is the guy and this is the time, let's close the deal. So that's something which is beneficial. I'll talk about what's next in beacons tech coming up. Bluetooth 5 was launched in, was it December last year? November or December? Late last year. And they have designed it specifically for Internet of Things. So for everything that we have been talking about to understand the context of the user. The theoretical range has gone up to 400 meters, which is 4 times the previous version, Bluetooth 4. That's a new thing that's coming. We don't, at least I don't know of any beacons that are with Bluetooth 5 at this moment, but it will take at least 6 months before they are there. Remember when Aki sent this ID of the object to the backend, and backend said, okay, this is Mona Lisa in Paris. That information would be in the beacons already. So that would eliminate the need of having to have a backend to go through this. That's something that they have built. The data rate is doubled from, was it 48 Mbps or something with this Bluetooth 5. Yes. And one thing where the technology would really grow and get into the use is because now everybody needs to maintain the beacon, but if you have one beacon that can be used by many services, which actually Eddystone protocol is already capable of doing, and without having the need of downloading an app and OS level, that's how Apple did it, and that's how now Android 7 is doing. That on OS level, you can read the messages and get the notifications with physical web and all, so you don't have to install any app for that, or you can read the beacons to trigger your apps if you want, so you don't have to do beacon installing stuff. And that is the capability of Beacon 5. It's specifically designed for that, which makes, like, people go to several stores, nobody wants to download like 200 applications, all of them looking for beacons. With this tech, it's actually possible that you don't have to install the app and still everything works for you. So that's what they've designed. And fun fact, Bluetooth pretty much died, but after Bluetooth version 4.2, when they introduced this low energy in 2011, this was the first major update that they did in the last 6 years. And it was not used, it was kind of dying, but with IoT, this is kind of the cheapest possible device to communicate between other devices. So this, things to take home from my presentation, I tried to compile it. Businesses today need to provide enhanced experience to their users, customers, employees, partners. With contextual information, you are solving the real problems in real time. And Beacon can connect your applications or digital services to the physical world. And here at Solinor, we are trying to craft awesome digital services.
What do you mean by trying to?
Because technology is changing. When we build something good, then we have to update it. Yes, we are trying to craft awesome digital services. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Questions?
We opened our voices and everything.
Do you have any working applications in Finland?
Yes, and Juha will talk about that.
Okay.
And another one, we will send a press release hopefully in 2 months. That has been the biggest project we did. And I think there's nothing more I can say. Then we will send a press release in 2 months.
What is the average price per one beacon?
It depends. This one is a little bit high-end waterproof device. It's 37 euros, but you can get as cheap as 5 euros. I think this was the cheapest one we had. Was it 10 euros? I think this one was about 10 euros. But yeah, depends upon your need. So we do have partnerships with some beacon manufacturers. So at least this device they are selling for 27 euros, and we get it something like 18 euros, I guess. So if you order in bulk, the price is reduced.
What about power consumption on these new Bluetooth 5-based beacons? How long does the battery last if you use that one?
I think they did not do anything major with the battery part.
Okay.
But
you said that the theoretical distance that the beacon signal can carry might be something like 400 meters.
Meters, yes.
So it means that, my understanding that it needs quite much.
It should need more power. I haven't read through the power consumption Bluetooth 5. There are no Bluetooth 5 beacons yet.
I mean,
but I've just read the
very rare customer wants to buy a beacon every month or every 2 months. So.
For example, this one takes 4 alkaline batteries, and this provides you 5,000 milliampere hours that lasts for 5 years theoretically, but in practice 3 years. And the same beacon can come with, if you take lithium batteries with the same one, same size, it comes with 10,000 milliampere hours, and that lasts for theoretically 9 years, but practically 5 to 6 years. But size does not work. This is the biggest size.
I've read about that, but important information that if you increase the distance, it's obvious that you need more electricity power.
Sure. Yes.
I understood that I need to have, as a customer, I need to have this Bluetooth on my mobile device.
Yes.
So, is there any these kind of beacons that which are, for example, combining Wi-Fi and Bluetooth? So, because usually I have the Wi-Fi on always, but not the Bluetooth.
For beacons, you need the Bluetooth turned on, but there is not, in my knowledge, that you can combine Wi-Fi and Bluetooth together. At least I don't know that at this point. One thing I was reading, I didn't read a lot, so I don't know, but these Bluetooth 5 could be a replacement for Wi-Fi's in the future. That was a theory presented by somebody, because the data rate has increased on Bluetooth. It started with only 3 Mbps, now it's 48 Mbps. If it goes over, then it could actually replace the Wi-Fi connections, and then maybe they can work together. But this is all assumptions. I haven't read about it.
People are talking about range,
Yes.
but what about how close we can get? I mean, what is the minimum distance to actually, without confusing beacons with each other and the devices that are operating with these beacons? How close can we get?
Well, we go in as close as 5 centimeters, but it fluctuates between 5 and 10 centimeters. If you really want accuracy, then you need to have multiple beacons to know. We have been even close than that, even 10 centimeters as well. It does give you, but it fluctuates. Now it will say 10 centimeters, then it will say 20 centimeters, and 50 centimeters, and back to 10. So to reduce that fluctuancy, you have to have multiple beacons to actually.
So there's very minimal, problem that there might be a confusion between the beacons or the identities they send to different devices. So people are not going to stack up beacons between 10 centimeters.
Okay, that's a good point. If there are 2 beacons transmitting the same ID, because their IDs can be universally unique, so every beacon has unique IDs, but it's not centrally managed like Wi-Fi or some other wireless services. So it's actually all on the developers that what IDs they want to give. So for example, let's take an example of a beacon at the entrance of Solinor, and it has ID 443, for example. It's usually 16-byte, pretty long ID. But let's say 443, and there is another beacon at Helsinki rail station that has the ID 443 as well. So the apps might confuse that, is the user in station or is the user here? So that's the confusion that happens. With the EID, Embed ID protocol in Eddystone, we can have rotating IDs. So the ID of a beacon is changed every 17 seconds. This one is capable of doing that. So every 17 seconds you will have a new ID. And with the pre-shared key with your mobile applications, you can actually unlock, okay, now this is the ID and this is the pre-shared key. What is the actual beacon behind it? So that's universally unique using the proximity API provided by Google. And
is there any kind of delay, by the way, with, if I put a device,
Yeah.
well, it doesn't have to be a phone, whatever kind of smart device.
Yeah.
What is the delay between, sending the information that the device is in this location or this specific spot? How much does it take time for the device to configure itself to that particular place it is?
I didn't quite get the question.
Well, let's say that I have a mobile device,
Yes.
which I'm moving around a specific building,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of beacons around
Yeah.
the place, and I just put the device on some table.
Yeah.
Will it know that device is on that table? What is the delay of that device
It's
understanding that
actually
it's on that?
pretty minimal. Milliseconds you can get the information about where the phone is.
Right, so it reads constantly if the Bluetooth is on.
It all depends upon what's the need and how you want to configure. If your need is to have really real time, then you scan pretty frequently for the beacons. And if it's okay to have 10 seconds delay, then it's up to you how soon you want to do. The beacons transmit as low as 100 milliseconds a packet, and you can scan your because the device has to scan for beacons. So it's very likely if you scan for 1 second and beacon transmit every 5 seconds, for example, then you will miss the signal. The beacon is transmitting and you're scanning after the transmission is done, and then you're pausing, and then so there's a chance that it would miss the signal. So if you increase everything to 100 milliseconds and then scanning of the mobile phone to be for 1 second and pausing for half a second and then 1 second, so you will hit actually every time you receive. that consumes a lot of battery on the mobile side, not on the beacon side. Beacon's battery is not very dependent upon the transmission interval. It depends upon the transmission power, which is
So
related
it's
to
not heavy
distance
on
that you
the
mentioned.
smart devices more.
Sorry?
It's more heavy on the smart devices.
It's more heavy on the smart devices. With the nearby notification on the OS level in Android, they are doing all the scanning by themselves and giving the messages that they read from the beacons to the applications who have registered or subscribed to those messages, and they are doing it once in a couple of minutes, only if the Bluetooth is turned on and is in use. And they have, there are ways you can increase or decrease the scanning rates if you're connected to a power supply or not. So there are, it really depends upon the needs. How do you want to do it? That's all configurable.
I downloaded the application from App Store for scanning beacons, but you said that now with this Bluetooth 5, it's not anymore needed to have this kind of application, if I understood it correctly.
With Bluetooth 5, you don't need to have an application for every service.
Okay.
If you want to scan for beacons, then if you scan, you will get beacons. But for example, with Bluetooth 5 can transmit more than an ID. It can transmit some data with it, some location information.
I was a little bit amazed at it.
Yeah.
I understood it incorrectly.
Yeah.
So, thanks.
Any questions or coffee break for a few minutes?
Coffee break, I think.